Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. On this episode, you asked, we answered. I want to go to a Q&A session that we had. And listen, if you have questions, I want you to email me at info@ryanpolimeni.com. You ask, I'll answer. Enjoy the episode. The one question that keeps coming, and I love it because it shows you guys are listening and you want to learn. But the question comes on where to get tax and Social Security training. Here's a few things. If you go to the Level Up Advisors Academy online platform that we built, there's a few things that I mentioned in there, and I'll give it to you now. But one of the best Social Security training platforms is a company called the National Social Security Advisors. And it's, you can go to premiernssa.com. You go there, you can buy their online course. I have no idea how, I think it was like 500 when I took it. I'm not sure what it is today. I do know if you hold off, we're working with them to get a promo code. So if you can wait a couple extra days, we're going to try to get a promo code from them to get it cheaper since we do send a lot of people there. So bear with us on there, but premiernssa.com. And that's National Social Security Advisor Certification. I took that like 3 years ago before I started doing Social Security workshops, and man, was it helpful. I learned a lot. It allowed me to have more intelligent conversations with clients, and it was a great investment because I still refer back to things today. That was the foundation for me teaching Social Security workshops, and so great investment. I recommend it highly. I know, listen, I'm going to keep saying this because I know it's important, but when you get to this level and you really want to get to a multi-million-dollar producer, you have to invest in yourself. And the number one investment that I make every single year is in myself. As much as I put into marketing, and I put hundreds of thousands of dollars a year into marketing, I probably spend at least $10,000 to $15,000 a year on myself. Personal development, courses, you name it, learning new things. That's important, okay? So spend the money on yourself. It's a great education tool. It is something that will highly advance you in what we're doing. Because listen, I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite questions to ask, and you've heard me say this a million times, I'm gonna say it again. What's your financial advisor strategy for maximizing your Social Security between you and your husband? Or you and your spouse? Love asking that. Why? Because most advisors know nothing, very little, about Social Security planning. By the way, let me ask you a question. How many ways can a married couple file for Social Security? 1, 5, 10? What if you don't know that? What if the answer is 81 different ways according to Social Security's website, and that means you have a 1 in 81% chance of getting it right? Would you have gotten it right today? What's your advisor strategy for giving you the best way to maximize out of the 81 ways? Oh, he didn't give you any. Okay, no problem. Space, 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 okay? Again, I keep hitting on that, but just think about these things as I say them. All right, so that was one question. This is a good one. For people doing business from home, how would you recommend everything be set up to create a personal atmosphere during video calls? That's a great question. I can tell you what not to have in your background, and I can tell you what really works. So for me, when I didn't have a conference room that I was working out of, I always made sure that I had pictures of my family behind me, because I think it makes it more personal. And again, you don't have to have big portraits of them where they can see everybody's face, but something behind you that is not your Star Wars action figures. Like, you don't want that kind of stuff behind you, right? So as professional as you can make it, as little as possible behind you that's distracting. So in my personal office, I have my desk in front of me, but if I'm doing a call and I'm not in my conference room, I do have one of those hutches behind my desk. So all they can really see is the hutch behind me. And I keep my camera at an angle. So not only can they see just my hutch, but they can kind of see it sideways, and it goes all the way to my filing cabinet and then a window. but on my filing cabinet are all pictures of my family. That's all I want them to see. I don't want them to see motivational pictures. I don't want them to see quotes. I don't want them to see my goals and my board and all that. So less is more. But if you have to have something in the background, try to make it professional, family pictures. I don't think having awards makes it good for professionalism. I just don't think it's something that people want to see, that you won the award for, annuity production. That's in my not in the conference room, but that's in my meeting room, like right when you walk in. What's the word I'm looking for? My reception area. That's where those are. So all my awards are on a shelf in the reception area when you walk into my office. That's it. I don't plaster awards in my office. I just don't think it's necessary. I think it kind of actually is tacky. That's me personally, but that would be one thing. The only certificate that I would say that I would hang, if I was going to, would be something like, if your securities licensed, to have that. If you have a certain designation, maybe hang that. Again, I'm still just not always fired up about those kind of things hanging. I think just keep it less is more. If you're working from home and you have a decent sized desk, I'd probably get a hutch behind it so they at least they see some cabinets and all that. Less is more. Okay, don't try to get fancy with everything. The other thing that I would maybe recommend doing too is, if you're working from home, that's fine. Maybe invest in something like a Regis office, where they have really nice conference rooms you can rent by the hour. I use Regis all over the country. So when I was traveling all over the place, I had a membership, I think it's a couple $100 to Regis. And if I was going to Connecticut and I was working with a client there, I would rent the conference room at the Regis. And a lot of times they're in big, beautiful buildings. And this way you have a full-blown conference room. And what you can do, most of their conference room actually have big cameras at the end of it. So you can almost kind of a setup like mine. The other thing too is, if you have not yet, we just launched it, I don't know, about an hour ago, Britt, the office walkthrough. Watch it. I did an entire office walkthrough so you can see what my setup looks like. Okay. So I would go to YouTube and watch that if you haven't seen it yet. And that'll kind of give you more of an understanding of what my stuff looks like. But what Regis is set up similarly. So you can either do that, or you can get like a little portable camera and set it up in the Regis to however distance you want. But maybe that works out. Maybe spending $100 an hour, whatever it is, $80 an hour to rent a conference room during a big important meeting, maybe better for you. If you're dealing with people, if you're just doing life insurance sales, I don't think you have to go through all of that. But like right after this call, I'm getting ready to do a $1.7 million case with a client. And so obviously, I want my professionalism. I want all that stuff to be in the background. That's maybe when you make the investment. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that Q&A session. We have a lot more Q&As coming, but listen, don't forget, you don't want to miss the next Q&A. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching, you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and hit that now. If you thought this was helpful, make sure you hit the share button. And for the YouTube algorithm, please hit that like button. Thanks always for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.